It is 6:02 in the heart of the Texas Hill Country, and you're listening to Eat, Play, Live with me, Andi P, the show that's chasing dreams and crushing goals. And my goal here is to help you live a healthier, happier, more balanced life each and every day. Our goal for this year has been learning to love ourselves unconditionally. We've been talking about this week after week because it is a work in progress. We are works in progress, right? Ever changing, ever evolving, the world around us ourselves. Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever fully arrive at that. We won't because, yeah, we're all a work in progress. And, you know, this time of year, as I look around and over the last month or so, I cannot help but notice and be amazed by all the butterflies, right? The monarch migration as it makes its way through Texas right now. It's amazing. And, you know, last year I think was even more so. It looked like it was raining butterflies. It was completely amazing. But this year, still, everywhere you look, there are butterflies, and not just monarchs. There's so many different kinds. In fact, did you know there are 24,000 species of butterfly? 24,000. You know, you think about the butterfly as being a pretty simple creature, but it's, oh no, far from that. And, you know, as we all know, it's common to talk about butterflies, caterpillar to butterfly, as we talk about how we change throughout our lives. And we're going to talk about that tonight because it just got me to thinking all the work that takes place to create that amazing tiny little creature, the butterfly, that brings joy, hopefully, to you as it does to me. But do they know? Do the caterpillars have any idea what their future holds? Do they have any clue as they're crawling around on the ground or the trees or wherever? Do they have any idea what is awaiting them? Or do they think that their entire life was meant to just be a caterpillar? I just feel like, how would they know, right? Nobody's telling them. There was a children's book that I had that I just absolutely loved. And this little caterpillar would say, "Mr. Butterfly, what does it feel like to be a butterfly?" And the butterfly would say, "Someday you'll know, little caterpillar. Someday you'll know." And it just drove that caterpillar crazy because it had no idea. It had no concept of what was going to come. And neither do we. Really? We don't. You know what happens when we make plans? Yeah. Right? They say, you ever want to see God chuckle? Just tell him your plan. Well, that's kind of a thing. We have no idea, and especially when we're young, we have no idea all the twists and turns our lives are going to take. I don't know how many times recently I've said, if you would have told me 20 years ago I would be in this place right now, I wouldn't have believed you. I say that a lot. But it's so true, you know, and we see the potential. We see potential in our children, in people that we care about. But even then, even when we see that potential, we still have no idea what their future is going to hold. No idea whether they'll take that leap of faith or whether they'll go in a completely different direction than we expected. You know, a child could grow up having a passion for one particular thing and then one day go, I'm done with that. You know, we have no idea. There's so many different possibilities. And I just think even more so for ourselves, we just have no concept because we let fear get in the way so many times of possible paths that we can take. And so those twists and those turns, they come. And, you know, I was telling you about the children's book, and as fascinated as I am with butterflies, I am certainly not a biologist and I don't know a lot of the details, right? I don't know. So I'm going to base a lot of my knowledge on this children's book. So bear with me. But in the book, there comes a point in time where this little caterpillar feels her antenna start to quiver. And she knows it's time for something. Something. She doesn't know what. Do you ever feel your antenna quiver? Like there's something in your gut that's just telling you it's time for a change. It's time to push forward in some area, in some way. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where there's something in your core that tells you, okay, I've been doing this thing long enough. And I don't know, for me, when I'm pregnant, that has been a thing. Now, that won't be a thing probably ever again. Oh my, let's hope not. But both of the times in my life when I was carrying a child, I moved, a big move, like from Wyoming to Texas, and then a huge career change I made during my second pregnancy. There's something about, I don't know if it's the nesting or just okay, if I can create a life in my body, then by golly, I'm not going to work for this jerk. I'm getting a better job. I don't know what it is, but my antenna started quivering. So what is it for you that gives you whatever it is to start that thing, to push forward, to move, to get the new job, to start the diet, to whatever it is that you need to do? What is that? So back to our caterpillar. Well, the time has come to build a cocoon. They've never done it before. They only do it once. How do they know how to do that? Again, nobody is explaining the steps. Maybe they are. Maybe there's like a little caterpillar get together and they're like, okay, here's what you got to do. I don't think so. So they just do it. They rely on that gut instinct. And if a little caterpillar can rely on its gut to build something it's never built before, then can't you? Can't you do that? And what takes place inside that cocoon? Everything that was has to be altered. There's no way to hang on to the past. It's absolutely impossible. They become mush, I think, physically, and they're just fully open. They have no choice but to fully accept the changes that are happening, and there's no way to go back. And I'm guessing they have no idea how long it's going to take. So they just enter into this place where growth and tremendous change is taking place, and they don't know what's on the other side, and they don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know about you, but I think the caterpillar may be the most fearless creature that is in existence. And here's the part that always strikes me, right? So they go through this change, and now how do you get out? How do I get out of this thing that I built around me, this safe, protective place where I could just hang out? They could just hang out, but something inside them tells them they have to break free, and they have to build up the strength to break free. They have to break out of that cocoon, which strengthens their wings. They use their wings somehow. Again, I don't know exactly how it happens, but they get out. And if you help them, if you see a cocoon in your yard and you think, oh, let me help this little guy get out. Well, you know what? You killed it. If they don't build the strength on their own to get out of that cocoon, they can't fly. They have to build the strength in their wings. And then once again, they do something they've never done before. They just fly. They just take off into the air. Literally, they fly. When you think about it, it is so completely amazing. Do you think they're scared? They've never left the ground before. And to just launch, I don't know. Maybe they just lift their wings and the breeze just takes them. Maybe there's not fear involved, but wow. And then that fear would turn to joy, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be amazing to let the breeze just carry you along? Feel the sunshine on your wings. Imagine the joy, the absolute freedom of letting go. Fear didn't stop him from building the cocoon. Fear didn't stop him from breaking out of it. And fear didn't stop him from flying. What could we have if we weren't afraid? If we weren't afraid to take those steps, the not knowing how long it's going to take, and the not knowing what it's going to look like on the other side, where would we be? Where could we go? Let every butterfly you see remind you that freedom awaits when we let go of the fear. Whew, wow. Okay, so that's a way to open up. And you are listening to Eat, Play, Live after all. So let's back up just a little bit and talk about the way we eat. And we're going to take some examples still from our friend the butterfly, because we're going to let go of the fear of trying new things, even in what we eat, because our goal here, right, is healthier, happier. Well, okay, you're going to have to make some changes. Nobody eats perfectly healthy all the time. So if we want to be healthier, we're going to make some changes. And healthy eating requires a new way of thinking, and new ways of thinking are always scary. They just are. It's outside of your comfort zone. I get that. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know what you're going to look like or how long it's going to take. Here we go again. You're here, you're finding there's a theme here, right? Well, we just don't know. But what you may not have thought about also is, like, we tend to focus on the negative, right? So I don't want to start, and I hate to say the word diet, but you use it, so I'm going to use it, right? I hate to start a new diet because it's going to be so restrictive, and I mean, I have to do it, and I have 3 weeks, and so we're setting these restrictions and we're focusing on the negative. But what about the time you get back by not eating out? Eating out takes a while, right? You got to go there, and you got to be seated and be waited on, and wait for the food, and wait for this and wait for that, and talk to people and imagine if you had that block of time and all you did was run home and you already had some food prepared because you prepped it ahead of time, and you throw that sandwich together and then you get back to what you had to do. And can be a huge time saver. Maybe there's a satisfaction of preparing a meal for yourself, for your family that's healthy, that you just never thought about, that good, warm, fuzzy feeling that you're going to have inside because you did something different. Or a really nice feeling as well is the feeling that you are in control of what you put in your body. It's up to you. You don't have to just get what's there. And it's easier to try new things when you eat at home. Okay, let me clarify. When you eat at home, it's easier to try new things because, here's my train of thought. Try to track with me. So I hate wasting food and I hate wasting money. So if you go out to eat, you're certainly not going to try, say, the Brussels sprout appetizer that's $10.99 if you don't think you like Brussels sprouts, right? You grew up thinking, I hate Brussels sprouts. You're not going to spend the money on that. You're not going to want to waste it. Well, at home, you could try Brussels sprouts and nobody has to know. Go ahead and buy them. Don't even fix the whole bag. Just fix some. Just fix a few, maybe. Throw a few in your air fryer, or try different ways. Try roasting them. Look up different ways that you can try Brussels sprouts, and you can break that bag up into a lot of little servings just to try it out and see if you like it. And if you love it, awesome. You've discovered something that you had no idea. You broke through that fear of the Brussels sprout. And if you hate it, well, it's just a few. It's not that big a deal. The whole bag doesn't even cost that much. And maybe your dog will like them. I don't know. Maybe somebody else will be there that will like them. But that trial and error is how we learn. Instant gratification, what we're used to, we don't learn anything from that. Going and doing the same thing and repeating the same behaviors, we don't learn anything from that. So try the Brussels sprouts. Worst case, throw out the bag. You've lost a couple bucks and you move on. Not that big a deal. Same goes for trying cauliflower instead of rice or potatoes, or trying leaner meats. Maybe you're used to buying bacon. Let's try something leaner. Try the turkey bacon. I'm not an advocate of those highly processed meats, but just for example, but give it a try. It's baby steps here, right? Try drinking black coffee instead of putting all that junk in your coffee. Yes, that's a big one. Or baby step it. Try some almond milk instead of that nasty, sugary flavored creamer that you've been buying. I shouldn't call it nasty. I'm sorry. I don't mean to judge you and your coffee. Yeah, I'm going to judge your coffee. It's okay. But if you have said all your life, I don't like vegetables, maybe it's time to try. If you ever asked a caterpillar, they might just tell you, I'll never fly. I made a rhyme. Just let go of the fear. Let go of the fear of trying new things. And then we talked about the caterpillar breaking out of that cocoon, right? How hard that was. They have to push and pull and tug and then rest and then try again. And that's kind of like what happens when we start learning how to move our bodies more. Yes, I'm talking about exercise. We've got to push and pull and tug and rest and try again. And are you afraid of starting that process? You need to exercise. Oh, I hear so many people. I know I need to go to the gym. I know I should start running. I know I should do this and that. It's fear, I guess. It's fear. I'm not going to like it. It's going to hurt. I don't know what that's going to feel like. I don't know how long it's going to take to reach our goals. I get it. Fear is very real. I have a fear. My goal, I want to do a full Ironman. I really, really want to do a full Ironman. I want to get the little Ironman tattoo that says, she did an Ironman. She is certifiable. But I want to do an Ironman and I'm terrified. Yes, I'm terrified. I've done 2 half Ironmans, Ironman, whatever, Iron Woman. I've done 2, right? I completed my second one this past Sunday. And even the half, even though I'd done it before, that was scary too. There are a lot of things that are scary. I signed up for that 3 weeks before the race. The first one I signed up for 5 months before the race. So mentally, physically, I was preparing, working toward it 3 weeks before. Now physically, not realizing that I was going to do that particular race, I'd still been working in that direction. I did the 100-mile bike race. I just did a quarter triathlon. So I'm saying that to say I would never recommend signing up for something that's past what your physical ability is. Like, push yourself, but don't hurt yourself. Okay. But there was a fear. I had a fear of swimming in a wetsuit. I've never done a race in a wetsuit. Who does that, right? So I had to order it, I had to practice in the river, and then taking it off. This is a race. You're in a hurry. How do you get out of a wetsuit quickly? Oh my gosh, I have to tell y'all this because it was the best moment of the entire event. I swear, because I didn't even know they did this. But you get out of the water and you run up the hill and you run to the area where your bikes are, and you got to get out of your wetsuit like kind of while you're running. So you're trying to shimmy out of it. Well, now it's down to your hips, and that's the part where it starts to get tricky. There's a group of people waiting, volunteers called wetsuit strippers, and they tell you, lay on the ground, and they grab that wetsuit and they rip it off your body and you grab it and you go running. I don't know why. It was just absolute greatness. So that has nothing to do with anything, but I just had to share that because it was just pretty awesome. And, when I started swimming in a river, in an open water swim, I thought, a mile is forever. That seems scary, right? And now it's not. It's just not anymore, because you start doing something and all of a sudden you aren't afraid of it like that anymore. I have a fear of biking in the rain. I've wrecked my bike a number of times and it is not fun. So this particular event on Sunday in Waco, it rained for like the first 2 hours. So through the swim, it rained. Who cares? But during the bike, not only were we covered in mud, our feet were nasty and muddy inside of our shoes, but now we're riding on wet roads. Hasn't rained in weeks, so the roads are super slippery. That is terrifying. But remember when you learn to drive? Same fear. First time you drove in the rain, a car? Yeah. But most likely, you're listening, you're still here, you made it through that experience, you're gonna be okay. And we made it. Now, there were some people that wrecked in that rain, but you just breathe, hold your core, be careful, slow down on the turns, and it's okay. And then there's a fear of the run. For me, there's always a fear of the run because running is my least favorite. And I was right. It hurt the whole time. The whole time. It hurt. And I'm slow. And my back hurt so much. I kept having to stop and stretch and try to pop it. And it just hurt. Sorry. Oops. I started whining. I'm allowed to whine just a little bit. It was 13 miles and it hurt. And it wasn't very fun. But it got to the finish line because one, I had a friend that told me every time you smile, think of it as a power up. So when I would catch myself smiling, I would remember power up and keep going. And then you just put one foot in front of the other. And then there are encouragers along the way that just keep you going. The interesting thing that I have found about endurance sports is you are pushing yourself farther than you ever thought possible. And how that relates to life. There's so many things in life that are so similar. Okay. So, while doing this race, it took me 8 hours to complete the entire race. Okay. And you are not allowed to wear headphones. If you do any kind of bicycling or running, you know what I'm talking about when I say that right there is hard stuff. To do that without wearing headphones, no music, no trainers in your ear, nobody but you in your head for all that time. And what occurred to me is there are 3 areas. Triathlon is 3 areas. There are also 3 areas in my life right now that are presenting great challenges. And when I say great, I mean big. They're not great. Sometimes I think they're insurmountable. But in the race, during those 8 hours, it occurred to me, like a swim in this challenge, I have to just take another breath and not get overwhelmed and realize that sometimes you get kicked in the face and you don't have to stop swimming. You just keep swimming. You just keep knowing and realizing that there are other people around you and they're also battling through. And sometimes they're going to kick you in the face. And let's hope they're not doing it on purpose. But you don't even have to react. You just keep swimming. And then there's a challenge that I'm going through that reminds me of the bike race because it seems like it takes forever. And you start to wonder, why did I even set out on this path? But then you remind yourself to be thankful in the journey. Appreciate the strength that's gained in each hill, in each valley. You come out stronger on the other side. And the third challenge that I'm facing reminds me of the run because it hurts on every level. It hurts. And I want to stop. And I wish it was a relay. I wish I had a baton that I could hand to somebody and say, you take it from here. But no. We all have these. We all have these challenges, and it's up to us. We got to just finish the race. It's not about winning. It's about finishing what we start. Remember, life without pain is life that's spent in a cocoon, and you have to break that cocoon in order to experience the beauty. Yeah, I brought it right back to that butterfly. That's right. Here's another thing about butterflies. This also is amazing. They can't see their wings. They have no idea how beautiful they are. People are like that too, right? How many people do you know that have no idea how beautiful and amazing they are? That's why I've been on this Learn to Love Yourself mission this year. And if you need another dose or two of self-love, I do keep all of these shows on Facebook. So eatplaylive.andi on Facebook. Go to videos and you can just search all the self-love you want to binge on. Because sometimes we need to trust not our eyes, but the knowledge that we were created to be beautiful. And that beauty manifests in just a million different ways. A million different ways. So believe it. I'm Andi P. I know. I always get a little, I don't know. It's the butterflies. It's the butterflies. I hope you feel strong and free like a butterfly today. And when you struggle, remember, we are on the earth a lot longer. Butterflies are here for such a short little time. We have a lot more to deal with, right? We can't just flit about. There's some days we feel more like elephants, right? Wishing that we could forget, or like donkeys, like maybe we're just a beast of burden, or hopefully some days you feel like a cat. You just don't even care. It's whatever. But no matter where you're at today, I'm really glad you're here. I hope that you will follow my show on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, eatplaylive.andy, wherever you are, connect with me and keep joining me here each and every Thursday at 6 p.m. on Lone Star, where we are in our new building. You may have seen it last week, but we are back here again and it's pretty awesome. So hope to see you here next week.